How would you like to live in a city where all your essentials are within a 15-minute walk or bike ride? That is the concept behind Carlos Moreno's 15-minute city. Over the last few years, it's been gaining a lot of traction for a sustainable way of living in an urban environment. Throughout this video, I'm going to explain the advantages and disadvantages, as well as set out a few key examples of the 15-minute city. One of the main advantages of the 15-minute city is its potential to reduce car dependency and promote sustainable modes of transportation such as walking, cycling, and public transport. Having all the essential services and amenities within a short distance, it is less likely that people will be willing to drive. This therefore lowers the emissions and the air pollution of the city. Another advantage of the 15-minute city is its potential to promote social equity and inclusivity. By having essential services and amenities within walking or biking distance, people of all ages and abilities would have equal access to them, regardless of their income, mobility, or location. This will help to promote community cohesion, as people are more likely to talk to each other if they're constantly within this 15-minute bubble. The 15-minute city is more likely to promote local businesses, as everything is within the 15-minute radius. You're more likely to shop locally and promote small businesses. However, the 15-minute city also has some potential disadvantages and challenges. One of the main challenges is the need for densification and infill development in existing urban areas. This can be difficult and controversial, as it may require changes to zoning regulations, building codes, and community preferences. There is also potential that the densification within these 15-minute cities can lead to overcrowding, noise, and loss of privacy. Carlos Moreno lists 4 key aspects of his 15-minute city, including proximity, solidarity, participation, and ecology. What this is essentially suggesting is that each city forms these kind of micronations where we have schools, hospitals, shops, food, all within these little 15-minute cities. Most recently, actually, 2 projects have been introduced from Saudi Arabia, the New Murabba and the Line. Each of them states how everything you need within the city is either a 15-minute or 20-minute journey. This is clearly influenced by Carlos Moreno's work. However, what you do potentially get with these situations is a hugely dense population within a small sort of radius. Because essentially, if you are forcing these little micronations to have all the necessary amenities, then you have to either move people out or create skyscrapers where everyone can live. The problem with living in sort of these high-rise buildings has been documented for decades. Despite these challenges, several cities around the world have adopted the 15-minute city model with varying degrees of success. Paris, for example, has been implementing the model since 2015, with a focus on creating pedestrian-friendly streets, reducing car traffic, and increasing green space. The city has also been investing in public transit, bike lanes, and pedestrian infrastructure to make it easier for people to get around. In addition, Paris has been promoting local economic development by supporting small businesses and creating public markets. Another example is Melbourne, Australia, which has been implementing the 20-minute city model since 2017. This model is similar to the 15-minute city, but with a slightly longer radius. The city has been focusing on creating walkable neighbourhoods with mixed-use developments, public transit, and bike lanes. Melbourne has also been supporting local communities and markets to help raise the economic value of these cities. Line and New Murabba are quite different in their approach to designing sustainable architecture. However, they do share some similarities with Moreno's 15-minute city model. Both projects aim to create walkable cities that promote social equity and inclusivity, reduce car dependency, and promote sustainable modes of transportation. However, the New Murabba and the Line are obviously very, very different from this approach, because they're essentially creating a new city from nothing, which essentially would be easier to create these 15-minute sort of nodes, as opposed to, transition an existing city that's been around for centuries. One of the key principles of a 15-minute city is the idea of mixed developments, which would allow residential, commercial, and civic uses integrated within the same neighborhood. This means essentially that people can live, work, and relax within the same area without going past the 15 minutes radius. The 15-minute city emphasizes sustainable living, so one of the key elements is the pedestrian and cycle lanes that allow people to walk and cycle wherever they need within the city. The focus of the 15-minute city is also public transport, which reduces the need for everyone to have their own private car. This allows people to, again, travel within the 15-minute city via public transport, which reduces congestion and air pollution. The inclusion of green spaces and parks within these micronations is also a very key part of the 15-minute city. Within these cities, it's also important to have a dense network of businesses that help the city thrive. Charles Moreno's 15-minute city is an innovative and promising concept. We've seen how it's potentially affected new developments like the new Maraba and the Line, and we've also seen how cities like Paris and Melbourne have tried to include this into their everyday life. As we move towards a more sustainable future, the 15-minute city model could be a revolutionary in how we develop our cities for the future.